Biden's voting bloc is 70 million people. I know millennials surpass them a little. But one thing that Trump said that stood out to me, because boomers are mostly concerned with their coverage of Medicare and Social Security. And when Trump said, with the border problem, Biden is giving away your Social Security. He legitimately attacked Biden that you're not going to protect older seniors in this country. And that to me is that was like a red flag for me in this debate, because he could be lying, but to me, Biden has to do more than look good at the DNC convention or the next debate. He has to actually legitimately protect certain things under law in order to guarantee himself to get those voting block. Because that's exactly for me personally, the Democrats, I don't blame Biden on that. I blame the Democrats as a whole. I wasn't worried under Clinton, but every president after that, including Democrats after that, they didn't do enough to protect that, at all. But so abortion, women's rights, senior rights, the LGBTQI, they need to constitutionalize certain things in order to guarantee protection. So even if Trump gets into office, forget about if Biden loses. What are the Democrats doing right now under Biden to guarantee that Trump won't be able to overturn any rights that we have? Because the past two presidencies, they haven't been doing enough to protect rights so that no matter who gets into president or onto the Supreme Court, it can't be overturned. I don't know, maybe I'm not a lawyer, I'm not in that field to know maybe or understand the Constitution enough to know how they can't do that. But that to me is a big issue. But I think kind of Trump, I hate to say it, I feel like he kind of didn't win, but kind of Biden lost on certain issues because Trump was able to use scare tactics.
What is the I now in LGBTQ?
Affect voters that actually do go to the.
Is there really anyone on stage now that his mind, his or her mind has changed from the debates tonight? Was there someone that was leaning towards Biden that is now going to vote for Trump because of tonight?
Think about it.
Neither side was very persuasive, and I'm sure they didn't leave anyone outside of their bases. And I think that people are still taking notice to what's going on in these red states with the book burning and the abortion bans and the economy, all of these things. I think that it's still fair game. I don't think that either side was very persuasive, though. But Trump did terrible. He didn't answer not one question. Not one.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, he had a dominating presence on stage compared to Biden, even though he lied a lot and didn't answer a lot of the questions. But the way I view this is, America's news cycle moves faster than a fighter jet. I'm hoping and I'm thinking that in the next week or two, folks will forget about this and look for the next shiny news out there. And I think that would play well for Biden if that's the case. But I'm panicked. Tonight wasn't good for Biden. And I went to Twitter.
Panicked!
I'm not even by now. I should have been asleep by now, but my eyes are wide open, just panicking. So I'm hoping something. Something new at this time is a viable option. 5 months before the election. But I just hope that something else comes over and takes the wind out of this news. Some shiny news cycle comes over and takes the wind out of this.
What would people think of having Kennedy take Biden's place?
Kennedy is diametrically opposed on every single policy that the Democrats want.
Oh, really?
No.
I'm a former Democrat. I would return to the party if he took over.
But
Biden's place.
he is the vaccine stuff alone is just not tenable.
Okay, that's right. It's the vaccines.
Yeah, but
You guys all feel that way?
I was mandated to get it, and I had COVID and was hospitalized. I had COVID twice. I'm anti-vaccine mandate. I would vote for Kennedy in a second over that. I think that was, hospital workers and educators that were forced to go back unvaccinated, and now you're telling us we can't have our jobs if we're not vaccinated. It's ridiculous. It was a shit show. I'm sorry. I actually support Kennedy on that issue as someone who was a victim of that whole situation.
Yeah, like if you were if you obviously were anti-vax, like obviously you were going to just like choose Kennedy for that in the first place. But a lot of people would have just been turned off from Kennedy in the first place. Like he wasn't a viable option over for the party. I would have said Gavin Newsom would have been honestly a better option. I know Black has mentioned that over in the room before, and I'm gonna repeat that again. Yes, he is an incredibly savvy politician. Like if you actually saw his debate that he did with Ron DeSantis, he knows what he's doing. He is literally being primed up as the next heir apparent, especially over in the Democratic Party, in order to run. And he has the selling power and the brand really necessary in order to kind of win. So I really think that he should, for the most part, be likely the next up. When he made his visit to China, they treated him like an elder statesman, in my opinion, especially when it came to Gavin.
Beyond the candidate themselves, when we talk about consistency on these policies, we have to look at like their cabinet as well and the people that they put over in these positions, right? So when Trump double speaks and says some shit like he's for exceptions on abortions, well, who are the people around him? Who are the people that are going to be put in charge of these, enacting these things? Most of the time, they're like severely right wing. He's the one who nominated the Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe v. Wade. He did that intentionally. So it's like, not only do we have to, we should not just keep our eyes on these personalities. We should also look at their cabinets and the people that they're affiliated with. And I'm talking about there's like some guy who was hella racist on Trump's hire. Stephen Miller. His ass. He's had some terrible people on his cabinet making real decisions that impact the American people. So again, this is all shenanigans. This is political theater. And if we get played again, then we deserve what we get, For real.
I can understand your concerns, especially when it comes to Donald Trump, but a lot of the critiques that are made against him are not new. We know the guy lies. He says a lot of things that are out of pocket. Some of the stuff that he said over on stage just had to have been corrected because they were just out of pocket. Was just I just made it the fuck up. But realistically, if I'm getting down to the very bare basics of what I'm asking about this debate, did Joe Biden win this debate? No. Did Donald Trump do good this debate? No, but he looked a lot more stable and a lot more measured in the American public's opinion compared to Joe Biden. Joe Biden looked a step out of touch. He didn't necessarily could orient himself where he was at in the likes, and it was just this is really hard to watch, especially if you know somebody out here who's older, who struggles, and is moving around and the like. It's become apparent that that he's lost the confidence of many people out here who would vote for him otherwise, and that's a massive concern, especially when it comes to voter turnout. You want as much people as you can to come out to vote to make sure that he is at least given a good shot. If that coalition basically starts to squander that he did from last time, reminder,
that in a lot of different states, Joe Biden won by razor thin margins. If that shit goes away, then this is looking really bad come November.
Could you imagine if they asked either one of these candidates about AI and the effects? Like, I'm thinking of the questions they